nice and tape it. So put your tapes together. Please tape it. You're going to really enjoy this segment of it. I don't know what anybody else is doing with Harry Kalas. Makes all the difference in the world. We only have a couple of seconds. Let me say this to you. The Buffalo Bills must play their best defensive football game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Offensively, they understand that they can move the ball. They proved it in the second half. Once they get their stuff together, they're fine. But defensively, and this is where this game is going to be won, they're going to go up again against a great defensive football team. And O'Donnell is back. He is back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He will be playing. And even if they had to use Bubby Brister, I did him 2 weeks ago against Cleveland before they had to bye. He completed, two were dropped. He hit him in the hands. The first 2 passes were thrown, hit guys in the hands, Stone and Green, dropped the ball. He completed the next 11. They got a backup quarterback. We have one, so do they. It's going to be a hell of a football game. Watch it. You'll enjoy it. Tape this one so you don't have to worry about somebody else replaying it for you. We'll take a break here on the Budweiser Sports Line. We'll see you next week. Same time, same station. Good night, everybody. God bless you.
Sports Line, brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. With that clean, crisp, cold taste, nothing beats a Bud. Tops Friendly Markets. Tops never stop saving you more. And by Mac. Sportsline gratefully acknowledges endorsements from the following sponsors. Sal Franco's, 4300 Abbott Road, where the South Towns meet. The Buffalo Hilton at the waterfront in downtown Buffalo. A bucket of chicken wings from Rudy's, Buffalo's favorite chicken wing eatery. Millersport and Campbell Boulevard, Amherst. A 16-ounce jar of Rudy's gourmet blue cheese, found in your supermarket produce section. And a 19-ounce jar of the all-new Rudy's famous gourmet barbecue sauce, now available in the barbecue sauce section of your favorite supermarket. Delta Sonic Car Wash, now featuring its new touchless option. No spinning brushes will touch your car. General Cinema, you and General Cinema, the perfect company for the movies. And by Budweiser, the king of beers.
This has been a presentation of the Empire Sports Network.
Bork shifting, moving right in. The shot scored!
Now you can learn superstar hockey skills. Hockey with Roger Nielsen from Atlantis Video. Roger Nielsen has brought together Dennis Savard, Mike Gartner, Ron Francis, Greg Mills, Doug Wilson, and Ray Bork to improve your game. You'll learn the fundamentals of puck handling and control, the art of deking, passing and receiving like the pros, superstar shooting skills. There's even a detailed section on breakouts and set plays that create breakaway opportunity. Hockey with Roger Nielsen, with freeze frame and slow-mo replay, plus spectacular highlights of the stars in action, and especially priced at just $19.99.
Call toll-free 1-800-541-7600 or send check or money order for $19.99 for each video, plus $4.50 shipping and handling to Hockey with Roger Nielsen, P.O. Box 2154E, Grand Central Station, New York, New York.
Tee off with great golf courses of the world. 3 golf-filled videos for only $19.95 each. Each video features hole-by-hole descriptions, exciting golf highlights, local flavor, fascinating history, and tips from golf's greatest players.
In this program, we hope to show you what gives golf in Scotland its special challenge.
This golf course wasn't formally designed. It evolved over hundreds of years.
Pebble Beach is more than a golf course. It's a place, a state of mind.
Every time I come to Pebble Beach, I can hardly wait to get to this spot. The second shot at the 431 yards, 8th hole.
Golf in Ireland is a total experience.
An unforgettable trip to Ireland's most famous links and hidden treasures. Great golf courses of the world. 3 great videos for only $19.95 each. Perfect for the golf traveler or the devoted spectator.
Fun, easy, inexpensive, and ingenious.
That's what coaches and experts say about Solo Tennis. Improves all tennis skills. Form, timing, speed, confidence, strength, and and endurance.
How does it work?
Just hit the ball and Solo Tennis will return it to you every time.
Who can play?
Anyone of any age. Simple enough for a novice, yet challenging enough for an expert.
Where can you play?
Anywhere. No backboard or tennis court is needed. Solo Tennis is a fun, exciting game you can play anytime. Tennis USTA magazine says,
take full natural strokes and the ball comes back to you every time.
Inside Tennis magazine calls it
simple yet innovative.
Solo Tennis, called the best invention in 20 years by World Tennis magazine, is now available for only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. For fast delivery, just call the toll-free number on your screen. Solo Tennis comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Order yours today.
You're watching the Empire Sports Network, the home of hometown heroes.
It was bedlam in the stands, on the field, and in the locker room after the playoff game, as we'll show you on Bills on Monday. A tear-filled Frank Reich gave a very inspirational speech, as you'll see. Marv Levy tells what he said at halftime and what his defensive coordinator did differently in order to change the tide. Brian Blessing goes over what the Bills did and what they'll need to do in order to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Next time I talk to you, we'll be talking about the Super Bowl. So until then, let's go Bills!
It's time now for Bills on Monday. Sit back as we take a look at the latest from the AFC Eastern Division champion, Buffalo Bills. Bills on Monday is brought to you by Milk for Health on the Niagara Frontier.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bills on Monday. You're looking at a very busy corner of Rich Stadium from yesterday's game. Frank Reich threw 3 third-quarter touchdowns down there, and of course, Steve Christie kicked the winning field goal at that end of the field. The Bills, with a miraculous comeback win, 41-38 in overtime over the Houston Oilers in the AFC Wild Card playoff game. The greatest comeback in NFL history. Not too many people who were here would believe that it happened, but they were here to witness it, and they witnessed history. When we come back, we're going to take you inside the Bills locker room. Obviously, a very happy Bills locker room.
Bills fans know their team has the right stuff. So does the Buffalo Bills Report, the official publication of the Bills. Marv Levy and Bill Poling appear each month in Bills Report. And you can read about Jan's Smoke Shop and Restaurant on Bloomingdale Road in Akron on the Tonawanda Indian Reservation. Great home cooking at affordable prices. Wait till you taste the soups, the sandwiches, and those homemade pies at Jan's Smoke Shop and Restaurant. You'll eat up Bills Report, too. Just call 648-9597. That's 648-9597. Bills Report. Once you pick it up, you won't be able to put it down.
G&G Fitness Equipment is locally owned and operated and totally committed to your health fitness. Stop in today and let our thoroughly trained staff show you the proper way to achieve your fitness goals. And do it at your pace, in your home, business, school, or institution, with the best equipment in the business, with full manufacturer warranties and installation available from G&G. Check us out, try us out on your own machine before you buy it. G&G Fitness Equipment, everything you see in health clubs and more. 7660 Transit Road, Williamsville.
Some beer companies pour their money into expensive beach commercials. Ever drink these grains? Other beer companies pour their money into million-dollar races. They get the payoff, but do you? But at Genesee, we pour our money into the purest water and the finest grains. Genny Light, the light beer that's real beer.
You've suffered an illness or injury and can't work. You apply for Social Security disability benefits but are turned down.
I'm Jeffrey Friedman. At our law firm, we've helped thousands of people win all the benefits they were entitled to. We understand the Social Security system because we've been there so many times fighting for our clients. Don't take no for an answer from the Social Security Administration. Give us a call. There's no risk because we're not paid until you collect.
Jeffrey Friedman, attorneys on your side.
Welcome back to Bills on Monday. As we look back to yesterday's Bills comeback win over the Oilers, you have to think about two entirely different halves of football. Years from now, not too many people will remember that Warren Moon led the Oilers downfield every time he touched the football in the first half. 4 possessions, 4 touchdown passes for Warren Moon. Houston up 28-3 at the half, then up 35-3 in the third quarter when Frank Reich steps up to lead the Bills back to victory. Yeah, there are many heroes for the Bills in this victory, but none bigger than backup quarterback Frank Reich, who was the starter yesterday and the game's biggest hero.
I've never gone through anything like this before. A week like this filled with the pressure, and there was a song that gave me strength all week that I must have listened to 100 times this week, and I just want to read the words to you. It's by Michael English, and he's a Christian musician. It says, "Christ alone will I glory, though I could pride myself in battles won. For I have been blessed beyond measure, and by his strength alone I overcome. Oh, I could stop and count successes like diamonds in my hand, but those trophies could not equal to the grace by which I stand. In Christ alone I place my trust, and I find my glory in the power of the cross. In every victory, let it be said of me that my source of hope and my source of strength is Christ alone. Christ alone will I glory, for only by his grace I am redeemed. Only his tender mercy could reach beyond my weakness to my need. Now I seek no greater honor than just to know him more, and to count my gains but losses to the glory of my Lord." Thank you, Jesus. Go ahead. I just wanted to share that with you because that sums up how I feel emotionally about the football game, and I'll be happy to answer all the football questions you want.
You had done this in college back in, I guess, '84, set the NCAA record. When you were down 31-3, did that come through your mind? Or did you
well, when we were in at halftime, actually, Gail Gilbert came up to me and really encouraged me, and he reminded me of it. And he said, "Hey, you did it before in college." He said, "There's no reason we can't do it again now." And I think, you know, there's no doubt that gives you a little bit of hope, you know, to know that it has been something like that can be done. But for something like that to be done, it takes a total team effort. Special teams, the defense played tremendous football in the second half, and offensively we did the same. To have anything like that, it takes the most complete team effort that you can possibly have.
Frank, how honestly were you feeling it was 35-3?
I was just feeling, we were talking on the sideline after the interception that went back for a touchdown. You know, I was standing there talking to Gail and talking to Jim and talking to Jim Schaffner. And we just said, I looked at him, I said, one play at a time. That's the only thing we can do. And again, you're not even, at that time, I wasn't even thinking, you know, comeback victory. I was just thinking, take it one play at a time and see what happens. And sure enough, because I know it takes 47 guys to have a win like that.
At what point did you feel like it was there?
I think when we scored and made it 35-24, and you know, late in the third quarter, that's when I really felt it was in reach. That, you know, if the defense just kept playing the way they were playing, and we kept executing on offense, there was plenty of time to come back and win the football game.
What were you able to do? What were you able to do that was succeeding in the second half? Primarily, that wasn't working.
Probably the thing that we did the most that, you know, they have some really good corners, in Chris Dishman and Jerry Gray. And in the first half, they kind of intimidated me to some degree in that I missed a couple throws to Don Beebe that are easy throws, but they're so good at breaking on the ball, I was a little concerned about them stepping in front of it and going for a touchdown. And so what happened was we ran some plays in which took advantage of their aggressiveness and were able to hit some big plays on them like that. And I think that was, you know, to have also to, you know, to be able to come back like that, you're going to need some big plays. And of course, we had several of those in the second half.
Frank, just before that fourth down play, in which you scored a touchdown, you called a timeout. What did you discuss? What did you talk about at that time?
Which one now?
The fourth touchdown, the one to Andre was fourth down.
Oh, okay. Right. Nothing. We just, the one that I hit him up to see down at this end? Right. Okay. No, we just, you know, we were just talking about that, you know, we were going to obviously 4-down territory, and I didn't want to rush anything. And at that point, I just, you know, wanted to make sure that I was being careful with the football, but at the same time, you know, trying to take my shots where I could.
There was no thought of going to field goal that you heard of?
Okay. Yeah, actually, yeah, I'm sorry, Larry. That I was referring to the wrong touchdown. Yeah, actually, I came over to the sideline, and Marv said, we're going to go for it. And then a couple of the other coaches were talking about, well, do we want to kick a field goal? And he asked Jim Schaffner and myself, how do you guys feel about the play that you have called? And I felt real good about the play that we had called, so he said, okay, then go ahead and go for it. And obviously, I'm glad he let us do that.
What adjustments were made at halftime? Did you like throw the game plan out from the first half and come with a new program for the second half? But what actually happened with the strategy?
Nothing really at all, except the fact, obviously, we had to throw the football a little bit more, and we just executed a lot better and made plays when we had to.
Did they go into a more of a prevent defense after you guys got up 35-3? It looks like they were going...
A little bit. They got a little bit softer. They were kind of playing us like they played us last week when they were pretty far ahead. But, you know, last week they were able to shut us down. And like I said, they have a lot of talent on defense. And, you know, but we just made the plays this week.
Was the pass rush any different the second half to you?
Oh, the offense, I mean, obviously, you know, I don't even, and I don't say this in a derogatory way against the Houston Oilers front, because I think they're maybe the 4 best as a combination of anybody in the NFL, but I really didn't feel any pressure at all in the second half. The offensive line, which is amazing when you figure that we got to throw almost all the time, they did a superb job. And again, the offensive line, you know, coming back the way they did and just playing as well as they did, not only on the pass protection, but we had the big runs that we needed. And we couldn't have done it without those big runs. The one big run that Kenny had, and on the first touchdown we scored, you know, knock it in that way too. So obviously, I said at the beginning of the week, I said the onus was on the offensive line to win this football game for us. And they did it for us.
What about Andre Reed? You haven't been able to get him the ball this year, but today he was a big part of the offense. Was anything differently done to get him?
I think that was more because that's exactly right, and you know, which was great. And I was thinking going into the game, you know, geez, Andre hasn't caught a lot of passes the last several football games, and you know, besides last week, and so they probably won't be keying on him as much as they normally do. And like I said, their corners are so aggressive on the outside. I really felt like, you know, Andre had to come up big for us today as an offensive unit, and man, he made some great moves and some great catches.
Can you describe the comeback you had in college, what the full second half was like then and what the full second half was like today?
It was the same thing, you know, to some degree. Again, you know, I remember back when we played Miami, but that game was away, so we didn't have the advantage like we did today of the crowd. But, you know, in that game, I remember we were losing 31-0 at halftime, and we came out and we kicked off to them and we intercepted a ball to start the second half, and that kind of started the whole thing, and the defense got momentum in the offense. And what was ironic about that comeback in college is, you know, we were losing 31-0, and we only threw 15 passes in the second half. And certainly when you're behind by 31 points, you would think you're going to have to throw 20 or 30 passes in the half to come back and win. But it just goes to show how everyone together, offense, defense, and special teams, and anything's possible.
One more, guys, one more. What's the feeling on the sidelines with all that momentum? I mean, people are popping up and down on the benches.
There's not too many things that I can ever tell you that you ever experienced that are anything like that. Just, you know, to hear the crowd just going crazy and just really being there when we needed them, not losing hope in us. The guys on the sidelines just, you know, encouraging one another, saying, let's just stick together. That's what makes football such a great game, and you know, that's what sets it apart from so many other sports, just to be a part of something in which takes 47 players to pull something like that off. There's always something a lot more special about an event when you can share it with a lot of people, and I think that's what was so special about today. Thank you.
Frank Reich's 4 touchdown passes, keying the Bills' comeback win over the Oilers. But maybe the most impressive thing about Frank's performance, the way he kept his poise under fire in that second half against the fired-up Houston team that knew the Bills would have to throw the football, yet Reich still got the job done. There were other heroes for the Bills, and we'll hear from them when we come back on Bills on Monday. Stay with us.
A lot of folks have been asking me where I've been lately, and I say, hey, the answer is simple. Brennan's Menswear. Hi, this is Clip Smith, and you know, whether you're a regular or big and tall like I am, Brennan's can literally suit your needs. You see, Brennan's specializes in those hard-to-fit suit sizes ranging from 36 right up to 66. So whether it's suits, slacks, shirts, or casual wear, Brennan's has your size. So stop in and see the friendly folks of Brennan's, Niagara near Hurdle, right along the river, just off the thruway.
Stop into Brennan's and we'll suit you.
Well, the Bluebirds were out for a bit, but then the fans really started to get on their feet and try to get the Bills back in the football game. And the Bills will tell you that really helped their cause. Let's go back inside the Bills locker room, and we'll start off with head coach Marv Levy, who talks about a game he will never forget.
Tremendous thrill to have been part of a game like this today with these players, and they don't happen often. You can coach a long time. You don't get involved in a game like this very often, particularly when you're the one that's fortunate enough to be part of the winning group, as we were. I'm immensely proud of our team. This is a Buffalo Bills group that, even though they've had a lot of disappointments during the year, peaks and valleys, has no quit in them at all.
What was your approach, or how did you handle the halftime situation?
Well, about all I covered at halftime, just before they went out, was to tell them that they had 30 minutes left. It was a game, it was what, 28-3 at the time, I believe, that they had 30 minutes left, and they had to live with themselves. I said it maybe in some stern terms, but I mean, maybe in a louder voice or very sharply, but I hope I was under control. But I experienced, there was anger in what I said, and I just wanted them to, whether we did come out winning or losing, feel proud of themselves. They had a long season off after that they were going to have to live with, and that was all. But they did most of the talking among themselves. I know I was in the offensive section at halftime most of the time. I didn't go in the defensive room. I know Walt was very vigorous. Walt rarely loses his temper. If he didn't, he was awful close.
No, this would have to be the biggest game of my career, and a kicker dreams of an opportunity to be able to kick that last field goal to win it for you, and this is my first playoff game, and I mean, I just can't be more happy than I am now.
When was the last time you kicked a field goal?
My rookie year with Tampa Bay against Minnesota, we were in overtime, and I kicked one there.
Is there, compare the situations? This had to be so much...
Well, from being down, 35-3, and Frank getting us back in the saddle, and to be even in the opportunity, to have the opportunity to go out and kick it, I mean, it was unbelievable.
Any discussion among your crew there, Adam and Holder, and the whole mechanics of it? Did you guys run through anything about reminders? Was it slick at all in terms of handling the ball?
Well, it was slick a little bit, but just from practicing out here, we're pretty used to that. Houston bobbled the snap on a field goal when we know that it could have happened to us. But Frank has good hands, and I have confidence in him. And Adam's a great snapper, and the line protected well. And all I had to do was swing the leg and put it through.
We played better as a team in the second half. I don't know. Unless I watched the film, I couldn't tell you defensively. But in the first half, I mean, we were making some plays, but they couldn't. We couldn't get them off the field, and we were keeping everything in front of us and making them nickel and dime you. And usually, when that happens, the offense self-destructs a little bit, or they drop a ball, and they weren't dropping anything, And so I don't think we played badly. We just couldn't stop him, and he was just. I mean, he did a textbook job on throwing in the zone to the guy who's going to be open.
It was more of a determination that we weren't going to quit and be embarrassed in our own house. And, I think that you always have a chance when you believe in that. And I think that's the thing that we felt, that we weren't going to quit. We weren't going to roll over for anybody. If we get beat, we're going to get beat trying. And it turned out. You've seen it.
Nothing was said in the locker room. Andre Reed said it's kind of a self that everybody had to kind of look in themselves, but anything fire you guys up in particular?
Well, we got a pretty good chewing. Offense didn't really get a chance to use the ball too much in the first half, and we were out on the field all day basically, and we got a pretty good chewing, deservingly so, and we just knew we had to play better ball than what we were playing. We weren't playing up to our capabilities, and that's what happened at halftime.
No change in coverage. It was just what you would say is all character. We played the same defenses, except for the first half we didn't make the plays. Second half we made the plays. And like I told him, I said, hey, this team's got an awful lot of character, and for us to be getting that butt beat in our own backyard doesn't make any sense, and for us to play like We did, the first half. I mean, it was like they were just running through us like we were a sieve. And, you know, Walt told us at halftime that, come here, Mr. Wilson. Hey, 60 minutes, baby. I told him that's what it takes, 60.
Up next for the Bills, the Pittsburgh Steelers, next Saturday at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. We'll analyze that game and, of course, take another look back at yesterday's wild win over the Oilers. When Sal Miranda from the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle joins us here on Bills on Monday, and we hope you'll stay with us.
Art, did you hear the news?
No, what's happening?
We're moving.
Oh, did he tell us to get out of town again?
No, not like that. We're moving the time of the show to Wednesday night at 7 o'clock.
Oh, why are they doing this to me? The ladies just happened to find me, and now they're going to move me again. What is this?
They'll find you again Wednesday night at 7 o'clock.
All right, I knew that. Wednesday, 7 o'clock on the Empire Sports Network.
The best in college hockey is here. From the face-off to the finals. Catch all the spills, all the thrills.
Akron is it. He scores! Here's Pellerin. Pellerin scores! Down the right wing, Bill Guerin on a breakaway. He scores!
And the bone-blistering chills. College hockey erupts. Prime Body.
Every week, the best college basketball action is on the home of hometown heroes, the Empire Sports Network.
Welcome back to Bills on Monday in Rich Stadium, and I hate to keep rubbing salt in the wound to tell you that it was one of those games you had to see it to believe it, but that's the case. And joining us now, a gentleman who was here to catch this game, Sal Miranda from the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle. How do you sit down and try to write this story, Sal? Is it either easier because there were so many good things happen, or is it actually difficult, like sitting down to write a novel because you don't know where to begin?
You know, after the game ends, you go in the locker room and you think you've got it knocked. You know, it's going to be a simple game, so much happened. We're trying to piece the whole thing together and picking out what the best stuff was. It was a challenge. We were here a long time last night. There was just so much that happened. And you know, we witnessed history yesterday. So that made it even more difficult to make sure you put it in perspective the proper way. So it was a hard game to write, but a great game to watch.
Personally, I for some reason, really felt they had a chance after Christie recovered the onside kick. Was there a point where you said they could do this?
You know, I have to be honest with you. I really thought it was hopeless. I mean, even after the BB touchdown, after the onside kick, you know, there's still 3 touchdowns down, and at that point there was a quarter and a half left to go. And you had to figure Houston hadn't had the ball in the second half yet. So you figured they hadn't stopped them. Houston would go down and just, you know, put the game away. I'm one of the ones who was a disbeliever, and until they got the 24th point, then I felt they had a chance. So.
Do you put the kibosh on the run and shoot? I mean, here they built this big lead, but that's got to be the shortcoming of the offense. They cannot chew up time off the clock. They got to throw it all the time.
Yeah, you have to wonder. I mean, even their play calling in the third quarter, they still had an 18-point lead, as we just talked about, and they went to the pass almost exclusively. Now, I know the run and shoot is predicated on the pass first, run second, but you would think that with an 18-point lead, they want to protect it and just get out of here with the win. And they didn't do that, and it wound up backfiring on them.
Is that the kind of game coaches lose jobs over?
I tell you, somebody asked me that last night. Is Pardee going to lose his job? And, you know, he's got him in the playoffs for well, I'm not sure if he was there all 6 years. Glanville was there. But he's taken over a good program, and they're still winning games, and they still win their, you know, playoff position. But at some point, you've got to start winning playoff games and going the distance, and that team hasn't done it, and you have to wonder if Pardee is on his last legs.
This was Hollywood script stuff, wasn't it? I mean, Wright comes in, and he's done it in the past, but not in a forum like this.
No, it's incredible. I mean, we sat here last night very late, and you just can't imagine what we just seen. not only Frank Reich playing for Kelly, but Thurman misses the whole second half. You know, Cornelius Bennett doesn't play. You know, how do you ever, you know, even think that's going to happen? And then after what transpired in the first half, you know, it just boggles the mind that they came back and won the game.
Another thing sticks out in my mind, it was seeing Kelly and Bennett on the sidelines and the way they got wrapped up in the emotion, even though they weren't out there.
Yeah, little kids. You know, Jim said after the game, it was probably the greatest win he'd ever been associated with, yet he didn't play. So that hurt, he said, that you have to sit back and watch it. But
well, we were talking to him together, and he said he didn't even know if he should come back next week because Frank's doing so well.
He's got a good point. I mean, you know, this team needs Jim Kelly, but after what Frank did yesterday, if he's on such a great roll, I don't know if you make a change, even if Jim is healthy next week to play.
How about Pittsburgh, this matchup? The Bills handled them the first time around. They contained Foster. That's obviously the key on the way in.
You know, we talked about it before this game. If they could get past Houston, they have a good chance to go to the Super Bowl because Houston's the hardest matchup for the Bills. I think Pittsburgh, the Bills proved it here back in November, Pittsburgh's a beatable team for Buffalo. Even on the road, I think it's a good matchup. They're not real good in the secondary, and if Frank has the kind of afternoon he had, you know, yesterday, they stand a good chance of beating the Steelers. And if Thurman's back healthy, you know, all the more.
And you want to look and find positives for the Bills. The three teams remaining in the conference, aside from Buffalo, very little playoff experience.
Yeah, Miami. You know, we all know about Miami. They're kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team, and their heart has been questioned. Their last two games of the season, you know, by rights they should have lost to the Jets and the Patriots. That's a beatable team. Buffalo has proven they can go down there and win. San Diego hasn't been in the playoffs in 10 years. Great game last week, but it was at home against a team that can't play offense very well, the Chiefs. I think Buffalo, if they can get past the Steelers now, they could end up in Pasadena.
Bills are a tough team to gauge, aren't they? I mean, one week to the next, you can't get a handle on them.
Yeah, they're a very hard team, and I bet they're the first ones who would tell you that too. No one in this press box yesterday had a feel for this game beforehand, and I think it's because the Bills have been so inconsistent all season long.
Press box generally tend to be pretty stoic, business-like, but it was pretty loud in there yesterday. Regardless of what you're there to be doing, I think a lot of people were getting caught up in what was going on.
It was hard to be objective, especially for, you know, guys like you and I who've been in Buffalo a long time and followed the team for a long time. I have a little anecdote, though, down in the locker room before we went into the locker room. Melanie Hauser from the Houston Post or Chronicle, one or the other, I said to her, she came over and said, "Boy, that was incredible," and I said, "It sure was." But she said, "You know what was even more incredible? That press box up there. I can't believe the cheering that was going on." And I said, "You're right, it was a little bit out of hand yesterday."
Well, it was a great game to be part of. As you said, it was history, and thanks for stopping by to share your thoughts with us.
My pleasure, buddy.
All right, thanks, Sal. Stay with us. We'll be back to wrap up Bills on Monday from Rich Stadium in a moment.
The Empire Sports Network is the home of the National Football League's most valuable player. Catch Buffalo Bills running back Thurman Thomas and a special guest from the AFC champion Bills each week on the Thurman Thomas Show. Come out to Jubilee Foods on South Ogden Street, Buffalo on Wednesday at 7 for the taping of the show. The Thurman Thomas Show airs Thursday nights at 7 on the home of hometown heroes, Empire Sports Network.
If you drive a stick shift, you probably make over 70,000 shifts a year. Sooner or later, you'll experience some kind of problem. Will it be a big problem or a small one? It takes a trained technician to know. At AMCO Centers, they've serviced enough stick shifts to distinguish between the two. Half the sticks they service only need clutch work, not the new transmission. Next time you throw a shift that doesn't feel just right, come to AMCO. Don't play games with your transmission.
Visit one of our two convenient locations, West Seneca and Cheektowaga.
So now it's on to Pittsburgh for the Bills, the second round of the playoffs after yesterday's wild comeback win over Houston. It will be interesting to see if the Bills can maintain that emotional high after the big victory, or can they guard against the letdown, which is almost natural, you would think. Now, as they go against Pittsburgh, you know they've got to stop Barry Foster. Buffalo did a good job of that in their first meeting, which the Bills won by 8 points against the Steelers earlier this year, but that was here at Rich Stadium. Now they've got to play the Steelers in their own backyard, and no doubt yesterday's game will be in the Bills' mind as they go into next week. That's a tough act to follow. But the Bills are alive. We were very close to saying goodbye to you for the season, giving you the State of the Bills address. Instead, we're telling you we'll be back next Monday on Bills on Monday to tell you how the Steelers and Bills made out. So join us next Monday night at 7:30. Until then, this is Brian Blessing. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Bills on Monday is brought to you by Milk for Health on the Niagara Frontier.
watching the Empire Sports Network, the home of hometown heroes.
Shot.
Hi, I'm Laura McKenzie.
And I'm Bob Chandler, and today we have some great adventures planned for you.
Bob, you know how much I enjoy the shooting sports, traps, skeet, and sporting clays.
And you're very good at it, but you know between you and I who the best shooter is.
Why, thank you, Bob.
In your dreams. But I do understand that you got to cover the ultimate in shooting events.
Absolutely, and only in America will you ever see anything like this.
From all over the country, enthusiasts gather for this semi-annual machine gun shoot here at the Sumner's Range in Knob Creek, Kentucky. Let me tell you, this weekend-long extravaganza is literally a blast.
Safety, of course, is the main concern here, as range owner Holly Sumner told me.
Safety we improve upon every year. Now we have more than almost 20 people in security alone. It is the most essential part of the shoot. In order to do a shoot like this, it needs to be run very safely and very carefully. We have briefings for shooters and things like that to make it go more smoothly.
Many of the participants at the event are machine gun owners, each fully licensed by the federal government. But even if you didn't bring your own machine gun, you can still join in.
You don't own your own machine gun? No problem, you can rent one. Have fun. I really enjoyed trying out this sport called the Jungle Walk. It's kind of like the popular game of sporting clays, except that instead of a shotgun, you use a submachine gun. And the only requirement is that your submachine gun is fully automatic. Basically, a jungle walk is a simulated combat course. You go in looking for these triangular targets without having seen the course before, of course. Highest score in the shortest time wins.
That's it.
Time.
You did very good.
5 minutes.
Only 4 minutes, 10 seconds. Excellent.
Thank you.
Holly told us the event has grown steadily in popularity from 350 people the first year in 1984 to over 11,000 this year. Now, many of the participants are doctors, lawyers, and businessmen. And that's not surprising since each round or bullet on a .50 caliber machine gun costs over $1. Machine gun owner and enthusiast David Felstein explains the popularity.
We have a thing we call, between my buddies, we call it a machine gun smile. And I don't care who the person is, man or woman or kid, you put him behind one of these guns, any of these guns, let him pull the trigger first time, and he's going to turn around with a smile on his face. It happens every time.
There are various matches throughout the day. This is another combat course shot for time. Again, high score, low time wins. But the grand finale is when the sun goes down and the targets on the range, the old cars and appliances, are fitted with sticks of dynamite and 50-gallon drums of diesel fuel. Watch this. I have to say that it's more fun than any grown-up should ever have.
As a foreign visitor reminded us, only with the freedoms we enjoy in America could you ever be a part of an event like this.
For more information on anything you've seen in today's program, write The American Adventurer, P.O. Box 4190, Hollywood, California, 90078. And we'll send you free information on how you can participate in one of these great adventures. That's P.O. Box 4190, Hollywood, California, 90078. Don't forget forget to send your home video adventure to the American Adventurer. And if your adventure is used on one of our programs, you'll be eligible to win an exciting Big Island adventure for 2. To enter, just send your adventure on VHS or 8mm tape to the American Adventurer, Big Island Hawaiian Adventure. P.O. Box 4190, Hollywood, California, 90078.
The American Adventurer will continue after these messages on Prime Network.
When anti-hunters plant poison dog food in your favorite hunting spot,
You'll say, where's the NRA?
when they spike your access roads, you'll say, where's the NRA? And when they ban your hunting guns, you'll say, where was the NRA?
Join the NRA now to protect your hunting heritage and defeat the anti-hunting agenda.
When they close the seasons in your hunting lands,
You'll say, where's the NRA?
help protect the hunter's heritage of wildlife conservation. Join the NRA.
Call now and get a year of great magazines, a no-fee Visa card, a Hunter Orange NRA cap, special insurance benefits, plus access to world-class hunter safety and skills training.
You see, when hunting is gone forever, your son won't ask, where was the NRA? He'll ask, where were you?
Where were you?
Where were you?
Where were you?
So come on, join the NRA now.
You know, I enjoy performing, but I also enjoy working out. That's why I go to General Nutrition Centers and get Cybergenics Phase 1. You get a training tape and a manual plus 5 state-of-the-art supplements. Hey, if this guy can do it, you can do it. Get Cybergenics at GNC, the authority in sports nutrition products.
And now, back to the American Adventurer on Prime Network.
Now here's Susan O'Leary with this high-flying adventure.
Now, it may not be a hair-raising adventure for everyone, but believe me, floating 1,000 feet above the ground in a hot air balloon is very exciting and a lot of fun.
What better way to see the gorgeous rolling hills of Charlottesville, Virginia, than by what balloon enthusiasts like to call aerial nature walks?
It's sort of like sailing over the land, and it's quite similar to sailing. You use the winds and weather.
Most of the people joining us today are locals, out for a fun day of balloon sailing. They all seem pretty excited and maybe a bit nervous about their new adventure.
That's the first time.
And they forced me.
Well, I'm a little shaky, but...
You ready to roll?
It only takes about 20 minutes to get all the balloons filled with hot air.
What we're going to do is we're going to fill the balloon full of cold air, and then we'll full of hot air.
Soon enough, we're on our way. Once airborne, it only takes a couple of blasts of hot air every now and then to keep us afloat. Our trusty pilot got daring and took us through the trees so we could grab some leaves for souvenirs. Okay, you can take us back up now. The view is gorgeous, and the ride is amazingly smooth and quiet. Hey, is that a party going on down there? What a beautiful adventure that was. And